What's up, guys? Nova Joe back again, and this time we're going to be doing another episode of learning to play the Air Raider. And in this episode, we're going to take a look at how to set up your Air Raider for cave battles. And so those of you out there who have not played this game and are wanting, or have played as this character and are wanting to better understand how to use him, he will play a bit differently inside of a cave. And you need to know how to pick the right equipment for whether you're going to be playing solo through a cave mission, or whether you're going to be using him as support in a cave mission. And you can set it up as a mixture of both. And so for this setup, I am going to do a mixture of both, where he is going to be a major offensive asset as well as a defensive asset. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the setup for this. Alright, first off, I went with the Limpet Splendor. Now, the Limpet Splendor shoots out a little explosive bomb type things. However, when you detonate them, they explode into flechettes, basically ricocheting shrapnel. And when you're inside of a cave, it amplifies the damage of it, because those flechettes will ricochet off the walls and just slice through the enemies that are in the cave. However, the danger is the splashback from it, where some of the flechettes can come back towards you. So you have to be very careful with them. When you fire them, they do stick where they land, and then when you detonate them, then the shrapnel explodes outwards, hits the walls, rebounds back and forth for a moment, and can really decimate the enemy, but it can decimate your teammates too. So be very, very careful. Now, with this weapon, if you do make a mistake and pelt a teammate with the flechettes, before you detonate them, just reload. And when you reload, it will take them off of the enemies, it'll take them off the ground, off your teammates, and you will not have to worry about doing any damage. So just be careful. And those of you out there who are playing as other character classes, and you have you have Air Raiders on your team, give them a wide berth. Give them room to work. Give them the ability to use the offensive weaponry that they have, because it's a major benefit to you, especially with this setup I'm about to show you. So don't be getting all up in their business all the time thinking that they're useless. Let them fire off their weaponry. Their weapons can be very devastating, and in a cave, they can be very, very devastating, especially with the flechettes. Now, one thing I do want to mention here is that there are other options for the limpet guns, obviously. Some of them explode. I don't recommend taking explosive limpet guns in here. The reason being is sometimes it will glitch an ant, glitch a spider, whatever, through the map wall, and then you won't be able to kill them, and you will not be able to finish the mission. So, explosive weaponry, I highly recommend in regards to the explosive turrets, the explosive limpets. I highly recommend not using them. Stick to projectile weaponry, stick to flechettes, things like that. You're going to use a turret, use a machine gun turret or a flamethrower turret, but stay away from the explosive weaponry. It can really mess up a good run. So that's enough on that. Okay, next up, we're taking a look at the Zexer gun. Now, the Zexer gun is a stationary turret, and it is loaded with different amount of ammo depending on which gun you use, but it has machine gun rounds, and these are going to act like your team. Basically, you're going to throw these out, and they're going to be little robot teammates that are going to stationarily fight the enemy with you, since you don't really have a lot of offensive weaponry at your disposal in a cave that is going to be beneficial to you. So you're going to want to take the Zexer guns with you, and you're going to want to put them far enough ahead of the group that they're not impeding the group. And if at any point you see that your Zexer guns are getting in the way of the progress of your team, and that it's hampering them from going forward, regardless of the setup, regardless of the enemies, if it is hampering them, then hit reload and make them go away and start reloading. You don't want to be that guy who blocks a tunnel with your machine gun turrets or with your flamethrower turrets, and you've done killed all the enemies off, and those turrets are still going, and you can't proceed. So hit reload, make them go away, so you can proceed. Don't be the guy they don't want on the team. So that's what we're doing here with the Zexer guns. We're going to take them in. They're going to be extra firepower. Now, this is where you're going to jump on the defensive end of things. One of the biggest problems in a cave mission is getting overwhelmed by the enemies, especially when it comes to the spiders or the ants and their acid. So, because you only really have one way to go in some of these tunnels, and that's forward or backward, which means that their spider webs and that acid is going to come forward or backward. You're not going to be able to go left or right, and so you're not going to be able to dodge and duck and juke and all that stuff and get away from it, and you can get overwhelmed quickly. So the bunkers are going to be of immense value to you, and you are going to want to take these in with you, especially when you're going on some of those cave missions where you've got a lot of the higher difficulties where they can just shred your health in a heartbeat. Now, basically what a bunker does is it is a defensive wall. It is a see-through defensive wall that will allow you to fire projectiles through it at the enemy, but the enemy cannot fire projectiles back at you. And so, or they can fire projectiles back at you, but the wall will stop it. And so I'm going to be taking the absolute bunker with me just so I can show you the maximum effectiveness of a ranger who has good equipment and is set up and can just really show you how effective they can be when you got a good setup. Excuse me there. Alright, now for vehicle. In a cave, you can take two kinds of vehicles. You can take a motorcycle with a sidecar, which is worthless. I say that, and even if a bunch of you out there disagree with me, that's fine. That's your opinion. I've never once seen a motorcycle with a sidecar ever be of any use in a cave, and they're usually it's just a waste of a slot, in my opinion. However, the depth crawler is the only other vehicle that you can take into a cave with you. Now, depth crawler has there's many different types of depth crawlers. You got some that have a machine gun, some with bazookas, some with flamethrowers. You just have a vast range of depth crawlers. Now, this one that I actually picked the wrong one here. You see this Depth Crawler 4 Custom? It has a Gatling gun and 2 rapid-fire bazookas. You don't want that. The reason you don't want that are the bazookas are going to mess you up, because they will hit the enemy, especially on the higher difficulties where the shot doesn't kill them instantly, and it will blast them through the walls. And you're going to have a spider or an ant that's going to be on the outside, and it's going to ruin your run. So you're going to want to take something like this, the Depth Crawler 4 here, level 77, which granted you can take other depth crawlers depending on the difficulty, but this one has a Gatling gun and burst cannons. The burst cannons are not going to knock the enemies through the wall, at least not in my experience. So you're going to want to take a depth crawler with you that does not have explosive weaponry, because the depth crawler is able to not only crawl on the ground, but it can crawl on the ceiling, it can crawl on the sides of the walls, and with some practice you will get used to it. So there's the setup. You got your Limpid Splendor, which is going to be extremely valuable within a tunnel setting. You've got your Zexer guns, which are going to be extra firepower when you have an onslaught of ants or spiders coming at you, and you need to add some extra offensive firepower to your group. And then you got your absolute bunker, which is going to act like a well, it's going to be a shield wall for you. And in this case, I didn't think to mention, but this absolute bunker has 5 shields you can set up. So that's 5 layers of protection. And when one wall goes down, you got another wall up already. So that's one of the benefits of these bunkers, is they come in multiple. They come with multiple walls you can set up. So all right, guys, this is the setup in my personal setup that I like to use for when you're in a cave. There are other options. You can take power posts, guard posts in there, which can definitely assist your teammates. But this is what I want to show you, is how to take a nice mix of offensive weaponry and good defensive items with you that can benefit you and benefit your teammates as well. So, alright guys, let's go ahead and check out a mission showing these things in action. Guys, this is mission 18, and I'm playing it on hardest so I can so the enemies don't die as quick, and hopefully you can see how the setup works. So as you can see here, we're starting out in a tunnel. Got a few ants right here, so what I'm going to do is fire these flechettes out there. As you can see, I got them stuck on that one ant, which is good. Now I'm going to detonate them with your L2 button, or whatever button you have set up for it. So there we go. I've ticked them off. I've got them aggravated. And now they're going to probably start coming this way if I don't kill them all off first. So as you can see there, the flechettes just ricocheted off the ceiling, off the walls. Worked really, really well. Now what I'm going to try to do is get over here to this tunnel where all the enemies are and show you how to set up your defenses as well as your offensive weaponry. So alright, what we got here is, I know there's a bunch of ants and stuff down there, so I'm going to go ahead and take my bunkers and start spacing them. Now what I do is I usually go up to the left wall, then forward to the right, or right, left, don't matter, but just basically stagger them and go at a slight angle, because then it'll go higher up the wall. Okay, now I've got, as you can see here, 5 shield screens that are going to be able to take the vast amount of damage, and they're going to take all the firepower that the ants and spiders and stuff are going to throw at us. Now I'm going to throw out the Zexer guns. I'm going to have them as far forward as possible, and then I'm going to go ahead and aggravate. Here we go. Let's go ahead and set them off. Yeah, see, you got me there. Now I'm behind the shield screen. He can't touch me. Flip back over to your Splendor, start firing it out there, and then detonating it as well, and let your machine guns and your flechettes do as much damage as possible and clear house. And the shields are going to be taking the brunt of all the damage. So you just keep doing that. Just keep pelting them. And you're going to clean out a bunch of the enemy before they ever even have a chance to come towards you. And like I said, I'm playing this on hardest right now, and just decimating the enemy. And your teammates are going to be able to be using their weaponry through the wall as well. So your weapon fire goes through, the enemy's does not. Alright, now my Zexer gun has actually ran out, but as you can see, if you look down the bottom section of the screen, my Zexer guns are reloading on their own. Now right now I wouldn't be having so much trouble because I'd be having teammates firing too with a lot quicker weapons. But my Zexer guns are actually reloading. Do you see all that acid spit that came my way? The walls just took it and blocked it. And I have pretty much almost completely cleared out this entire section of enemies. Now, one of the things that you're going to want to remember, and I'm going to show you here in just a second, is not to leave your bunkers behind. Once you've cleared out the enemy and you can move forward, you're going to want to hit reload on your bunker and get rid of them back here. See, they're gone now and they're reloading. And you're going to do that as soon as you're done with the section of battle. and they will reload in the background, which is great. My Zexers are reloaded, and now I'm ready to go on to the next section. So I'm going to show you the depth crawler. Now, the depth crawler has a wealth of maneuverability. You can go forward, backward, left, right, and just keep going left. Or keep going right on the ceiling. It is a spider. Now, the depth crawler takes some practice. If you hit jump, you'll go straight up and cling to the ceiling. However, your controls are completely reversed when you're on the ceiling. So, up is now down, down is now up, left, going left will make you go right, and going right will make you go left. It's all backwards. You got to get used to it. But the nice thing about the depth crawler is that, say you've got your teammates behind you and they're firing, you need to be able to fire as well, but you don't want to be in the way. Jump up on the ceiling. Get familiar with your controls. Stay perfectly still. Like, get into a spot where you can stay perfectly still. Get used to the fact left is right, right is left, down is up, and up is down. And adjust your weaponry, and then you can fire too. And you're not going to be hitting your teammates. They're not going to be hitting you. And you can just pelt the enemy and do as much offensive damage as possible, all the while staying out of harm's way. Then just jump straight down, and you can be mobile once again, running around, collecting boxes, doing whatever it is you need to do. So, alright, that is pretty much it for fighting within a cave. You have other options, like I said. You can go in as more of a defensive role, bringing in power posts, guard posts, bunker walls, things like that. Healing guns, just anything you want to do, you can do. If you want to play a role in fighting, then you can kind of do the setup like I've done here, because you're actually extremely helpful here. You are not only providing a immense amount of firepower with your turrets and with your flechette gun, but you are also providing a great defense with your bunker walls. So, you know, you are indispensable. Alright guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it taught you something new and gave you some ideas on how to be an offensive and defensive soldier within a cave setting. So, alright guys, if you've enjoyed this video, please remember to hit that like button, and if you are enjoying what you're seeing here, subscribe if you want to see more. So I'd love to have you as part of the channel. I'm heading towards that 1,000 subscriber mark, and would love for you to join in on helping me get there. I got tons of great EDF content already out there, as well as more to come. So, alright guys, as always, take care, God bless, and keep on gaming. Stay tuned. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to be a good solo air raider. Alright guys, take care.